I've always felt different. I've always seen things, but when I tried to express them as a child, I was always told to ignore it.
There were people that I didn't know that came to me and said, I had this message that I keep getting that I have to deliver to you.
All of a sudden, out of the shadows, a homeless man just jumped right in front of me. And he said, I'm a soul just like you.
I love it.
I wanted to understand the universe and who and what we are and what are we doing here.
We're all part of this amazing soul wave tapping into each other.
This was a major life changer.
You are a light. You have helped me a ton. Thank you.
You've given me the courage to live more from my soul.
Millions of people are awakening.
So wake up with Michele Meiche. Be pleased to hear the best-selling authors and experts in the fields of cutting-edge self-help, personal growth, metaphysics, and spirituality. The soul path of awakening.
Understand what living awake is.
Hey, everyone. How's everyone doing? Today I'm doing a decaf cappuccino. It's into my chai, and I'm back on this. Get a drinky, get a coffee, a tea, a chai, a something, if you can. And, be in a place to have your world rocked. Let's rock each other's world. If you happen to be new to the podcast, hi, I'm Michele, and glad you found us. Because I like to do in the beginning, getting my cappuccino, getting settled in after my meditation. I do a deep dive meditation before, and connecting with the guides, see if they have any info for y'all. You can listen in the chat. If you want to comment in the chat, you have to sign up with Blog Talk Radio, get a little icon-y, little avatar. If you want to listen by phone, that number is 347-539-5122, 347-539-5122, and press 1 on your keypad. So if you have a question or a comment or you want a reading, you need to press 1. I see people listening on the switchboard. If you press 1, then I know that you want a reading. So I'll keep kind of reminding that because I guess there are people still at work. But back in the day, a lot of times I'd click on the number and somebody would be like, I'm listening at work or I'm at the store. So, hey, Healer Medium, hello. Let me know how the sound is, please. Whoa, it's hot. Okay, we've got a great guest coming on, so I hope you stay for the second half of the program also. I wanted to touch base, definitely if there's callers call in or you want a reading, 347-539-5122. I will pick up. But I've really been kind of amazed and a little bit happy about some of the information or connections that are happening within our galactic connections and you guys have heard me talk about this before, having, older starseed, known as a starseed since age 8, remember channeling since age 4. It's just interesting because through the years I've met various starseeds on my path, but not a lot. And I remember the whole indigo, people were, I'm an indigo, I'm in this. And those had its place. Really, basically, a lot of people, if they're indigo, they're light worker or usually a starseed coming in a different ray. Just think there's a lot of information that came out through the interweb that, people didn't have to really totally study and dive in deep or do, long-term trainings or esoteric teachings. So, there's just a lot floating around. But it's great to kind of see. Hey, thanks, Healer Medium, about the sound. Great, and you can hear. It's just very interesting that some people are awakening to this, or there have been other starseeds, like our last guest that was on, Eva Marquez. If you haven't heard her podcast with me, it's really good. I think I lose track of time. Last week or the week before, think 2 weeks ago. Because there are key things that you can tell if somebody really is a starseed, and one of them is not liking to get into drama or initiate drama, and a really strong, almost inability to not see both sides or all sides of some issue. It's really hard to be put into a box as a starseed, and so that's why sometimes there can be this misplaced feeling of where do I belong, because you belong in all, everywhere. Like I tell people, we all belong in the universe, wherever we choose to belong for how long. But, the universe is our home. The world is our home, And I once, back in the day, in LA, in a certain area, on my way with a good friend of mine, Madian at the time, we were going to a gay bar, and there was some, what do you call them, taggers, gang members, tagging, which I asked, I said not to, and they're like, well, this is our neighborhood. And I said, no, your neighborhood is the universe. And one guy pushed back on me, and another one said, no, dude, that's dope, what she's saying. You get it? You get it? They were kids. But believe me, they weren't big toughies. Some were on bikes. They were on their way, and I'm like, you're not just this neighborhood. You're not even just LA. You're not even just California. You're not even just the world. You're the universe, wherever you want to belong. So we're going to be getting these little starseed galactic tickles. Again, I'm going to get to callers, so hang on. I just want to touch a little bit on what to look for. Just with a little bit of astrology, even though I'm an astrologer, I'm also a master numerologist, I don't go into that as much. I will if people want to, but a lot of people are not astrologers or into astrology. So, I've gotten people saying, oh, that confuses me, or I don't really, even in some of my workshops, unless they're astrology workshops or, so anyway, but I do feel that it is really, really important and a really good navigational tool right now. Even if you're not into astrology, there's plenty of, YouTube videos, there's plenty of blog posts where you can get just the basics for right now. And I feel it's really, really important to look at where Uranus is in your chart, what it's aspecting. Like mine's aspecting my Mercury. Right now, especially Uranus, because Mars is kissing there, conjuncting there. Look at where Jupiter is and Neptune. So we always have this planetary energy. That's why I feel so blessed to be a trance and conscious channel, because I get what's happening even before there is the planetary aspect, because the planetary aspect is not, it's just a lens. It's like a tarot reading. It's like, Tree of Life or numerology, or, it's like looking through a camera. You can look through the lens of a camera and take a great picture, or you can just look around the camera. You don't need a camera to see the view, right? But it does help. It helps highlight. And I like to use astrology to just really confirm sometimes things that I get and timing on that. I just find it fascinating that a lot of things that I channel, it'll show in the astrology, sooner or later. So, yeah, it's just fascinating to look at that. And what I also like is astrologers are finally starting to say, I think it was Chris Brennan, the astrology podcast, that was saying that, we start feeling the energy before it always said that. And actually I had again, this is why it's important, I think, to study with an advanced teacher. And if you want to, I have a Patreon group. Because years and years ago, it was said, that, after Saturn, you're not really affected by the planets because they're outer planets. They're generational. And I had a really good metaphysical teacher and astrologer that said, if you are a more advanced being or soul and you are sensitive, you are going to feel those outer planets. Because let me tell you, in the 90s, especially was it 99, 2000, there was this amazing Taurus alignment. But anyway, I've always felt the shifts. But this teacher validated it and said, of course, you're going to feel the outer, especially if you're going to feel Uranus, you're going to feel Pluto. Okay, we always feel Pluto, but Neptune. You're going to feel Uranus and Neptune. If you're more sensitive, if you're more awake, more aware, and living that way, because it's all just energy. We're just talking about different ways of looking at it or interpreting or, understanding and aligning to utilize. And recently, Chris Brennan said that you really start feeling the aspects way before they actually happen. Because I remember when I first started studying astrology, there was some, first of all, they didn't like it that I was psychic and a channel, because they're like, you can't, astrology is a science. You cannot put your intuition into it, which was very hard for me to do, because once I start constructing the chart or right there with the person, I was in their energy field getting all kinds of information. And another just thing was like this close orb. Oh, it has to be 3 degrees, 5 degrees. And some people said 6. And I'm like, no, I do a 10-degree orb. Especially if it's personal planets. So now there are astrologers, and Chris Brennan is one of them, that are saying, look, the aspect doesn't just boom happen on that day. We talk about that day. It's just like a portal. There's 2 gateway portals of light every year that stay open. And you can feel the energy shift at the close of the year. It used to be around, I don't know, November, December. Now it's gone into like November, December, into January, February. And then there's again one in May. So this is why timing can be a little kind of interesting, sometimes a challenge, because psychically or in the spirit realm, it's not exact. What is time? What are dates? They're all arbitrary. It doesn't matter what calendar you use. It doesn't matter. It's all arbitrary. It's an energetic presence. So you may feel an apex. You may feel something building, a crescendo, a salient point, a plateau, and then a waning. So I would say following moon cycles probably would be most accurate, that there's this waxy, big growing, and you can see this in all nature. But we just use time as a way to kind of navigate and make it easier and have agreed upon time. Like I say, I'm at 12 p.m. Pacific time, but people listen to Awakenings podcast around the world, so it's different times for different people. But energetically, that's there, and it's even there before the time. It's there in timing or divine right timing. It's there in the timing in the ethers. We've already done this to some degree. So one of the things that's just happening is we really are getting those people that are opening. Although I'm also seeing it because I look at a lot of certain mainstream things to kind of check the narrative of the mainstream. And certain people, whether they understand it or not, in fact, I know they're not because I've listened to some podcasts, and they'll start saying about consciousness and trying to define it, and then like feeling there's something more in life. I was an atheist before, but now I feel there's something more. They don't have the words yet. In fact, I watched a interview with Elon Musk, and he was trying to define consciousness. Of course, they're trying to define it from a scientific point of view, which it won't be able to be quantified. They're going to have to experience it through the subtle energy, and that's just Uranian energy, what it's all about. Another time frame that'll be helpful for you is if you're old enough, or even if you were born right around that time, look at what you were doing in 1999 to 2000, mid-2000. What was your main focus? And also 2007. These are going to show you areas that you're tapping back into to either resolve, complete, and or bring something from that time frame forward into the timeline you're on, into the timeline you're going in, but in a different way. It will be updated. It will be up-leveled. So many people are just freeing up to create something that is much more soul-centered, right? Soul-connected, soul-centered, because there is a time frame where the ego is going to be gone. Psychologically, we won't need it. Psychologically, that process, that having to doubt or status quo, keep safe, these constructs, it's just the mental construct of what we think of as the personality. The personality will be subsumed into the soul. The personality will be the soul. And so you'll find this speeding up, though we're in a vortex right now, we're in this apex of speeding up to get things done. Many of you might be thinking, I got to get this done. I got to do this. I'm feeling this. I'm feeling inspired, or I'm working on this. I've been doing even some deeper dive healing on myself. That's another thing. Really work connecting with the body in a loving, loving way. Be in silence, stretch, feel, connect in. We are all getting prepared, not everyone in the world or cosmos, but those that are encoded, it's encoded into a higher vibrational frequency expression of ourselves, and our body has to be ready to embody it. So think of it like a sacred preparation. Think of it like, whether you gave birth this way, you've heard stories, read books, videos, seen it in the movies, but like the midwife, the doula, sometimes people say, oh, I want this sacred birth. They have like a birthing room, right? Or they give birth at home, and the lights are low. Maybe there's candles or incense. There's pretty pillows, whatever. You need to connect into the body temple, the outpicturing of the soul, of your spiritual essence and soul. So it's a preparation right now to receive. You really want to be in that more of a magnetic frequency and simply respond to what you're receiving or downloading and find the connections. As Lynn in the chat, hey Lynn, had said in the Patreon group, follow the breadcrumbs. Just keep following the breadcrumbs, because that's going to show you where the momentum is. That's going to show you where your personal shift is and how it interconnects in with the worldly, universal, cosmic, and galactic shift. So we have 7 planes of existence, and these 7 planes correspond to the 7 rays. These planes, these interdimensional aspects of reality or realities, which are also other dimensional aspects of us, different timelines, are shifting. It's like they're going, it's like it's going in a different, it's like dominoes. Or I can't think of that game where you stack things up and then one comes out. You pull one brick out or one block and it all goes into place. The other thing that I want to touch upon, and I've been talking a lot about this in Patreon, is that there's a lower harmonic, a lower mid and higher harmonic or outpicturing expression of situations, of planetary experiences also. So there's always the less conscious or less life-enhancing, and then there's the optimal expression and experience or use of the energy. So don't be fooled by the chaos. The chaos is a lot of creative energy. We talked about this on my Synergy course and on Patreon. Use that creative energy. You don't have to have the worst case scenario happen to you, even if your neighbor does, or the person down the street, or on the TV, or on the YouTube, you know what I mean, in the video or in the news, because you can be operating from a different higher vibrational frequency. The energy, like shards, right, it splits out into different forms with different functions, and these forms and functions have different vibrational frequencies, different wavelengths. And in these different vibrational frequencies and wavelengths is the seed or the kernel through the soul or the design, that design matrix. So as things begin to split, they create a new matrix, a new design. And depending on the material, we could look at it, the energetic material, which is the frequency, light, resonance, coherence, will determine the form, the function, and how you experience something, right? So it's like having, let's say it's like having, it's like having let's say an iPad or, a computer that's made out of light plastic, or you could have one made out of hard plastic, You could have a metal one, you could have a titanium one, right? Or think of it as metal, lead, nickel, silver, gold, platinum. So just know that whatever you're vibrating at, that's what's going to dictate your experience of the upcoming, not only change, but shifts within that. And which also will determine what you need within your own soul design. This is why it's very important to understand your soul, to find out, what you're about, so that you can respond to the energies, in a way that suits you. So it's really fun times. I mean, there's really a lot of activation energy, and right now it's about getting used to this energy, because it's only going to scale up. How do we manage it? How do we navigate it? What's our personal flow, and how does our personal flow align to this energetic matrix through the subtle energy, through the unified field of consciousness and energy? So this is about extending or expanding through this unified field of consciousness in a way to play a bigger game, a more expansive game. Okay, we're going to get to callers, 347-539-5122. Sue, oh no, I was in the middle of my divorce, so I'm trying to divorce from my job. I was looking for a major change around 1999, 2000. Oh, I like that, Lynn. Linny! Now I see the chaos or craziness in the world as, wow, something new can happen. Yes, through the egg, the shell. So, Sue, okay, so whether it's something that you were doing or like divorce from the job, so there would be, perhaps for you, there'd be issues or, a focus on winding out of something or leaving or boundary. Look at it, because you want to complete whatever that was, or you're going back to it again to resolve it or complete it or bring something forward in a new way. All righty, everybody. 347-539-5122 is the number. Let's see. Oh, Sue, here we go. Good question. Waiting for the dust to settle from the chaos. Then we can see clearly. You don't want to, there's going to be more and more and more chaos. So, like a tornado, you want to be able to see what is in the chaos that's for you. I keep seeing images of, I think it's tornadoes. If it's not tornadoes, please somebody correct me. But like in the Midwest, they have those funnels, right? And stuff goes up in the air. Yeah, you have to see through it, right, Sue? Metaphysically, you got to use the psychic eyes. You got to use the feeling, the intuition through the feelings, the momentum. Where is the opening? What's the message you keep getting? The pressing message from your inner guidance, your own inner knowing. So in the tornado, you can see cars in there, cows, whatever. There's trees, there's, whatever. There's a house in there. There's all. It lifts everything up. That's what's happening right now with this Uranian-Pluto energy. And it's going to heighten when Pluto goes into Aquarius, which I believe is next March or April. That's when the real stuff, that's what I've been channeling and talking about for years. You thought 2020 was something? Woohoo! Woohoo! No. And especially that 2024 to 2025, that's, so yes, you have to it's like being in a wind tunnel and all this stuff is coming up. You got to see it, hold your intention, your focus, and either it'll be physically grabbing for it or just holding the focus so that it lands in front of you, or you or pushed up to meet it, or it comes to you, or whatever metaphor you want to use. But no, this is not a time to wait for the chaos to settle or the dust to settle. There's only going to be more chaos. And that definitely is reinforced in the astrology. That is a definite. That's why I'm doing so many courses and classes and workshops and tuning in with the guides and going to be doing more on YouTube. I mean, I'm just in this flow. This is the time I've really been waiting for. I've been talking about this kind of stuff for so long. and it helped a lot of people, but I want to help more people because now people are more receptive. They're seeing things, they're hearing things, they know about the soul more, and they feel the changes within their own body, mind system. They psychologically, they see things are changing. And now it's about stepping into that change, and that's what this Uranus energy, especially, Uranus and Taurus, and now we got Mars there, and squaring that Saturn in Aquarius, opposing, that South Node in Scorpio. This is no joke. Neptune, are you in the delusion or illusion of life and your circumstances, or are you getting the bigger picture and getting inspired? So this is the time. There's going to be a splitting. There's a splitting in our personalities, splitting in the culture, splitting in the world. There's a splitting in the country, the state. A shadow, it's dark and light. Okay, what is illusion? What is delusion? Am I deluding myself, or is this inspirational? Am I feeling inspired? How do I navigate this energy? We're really learning how to navigate the fullness of us. You could say our galactic aspect of our being, the cosmic part of it. It's navigating the subtle energy of us and understanding that part of us so that we are these quantum vessels consciously. This is about consciously doing this. And the reason being is we have to pass this on. It doesn't get passed on to those that are younger than us, and I mean way younger. I mean teens, even beyond teens. I mean the 11, 12-year-olds, the adolescent, pre-adolescent, and younger. This stuff we have to encode within the very fabric of our body in order for it to be passed on. Our energy bodies, the Akashic, the astral, the etheric, the physical body. It has to be not only in the energetic matrix of us, but in also the molecular cellular level of us. That way we can trigger through the critical mass a quantum leap within the DNA. Okay, so this we've been operating from the reptilian brain, the lizard brain. That's shifting. We've needed that for thousands and thousands of years, but we're going into a way of living where we won't need that anymore. And those people that are more predominantly that won't have the stronghold anymore. But it can't happen unless we individually shift enough to shift on a group level, a collective level, so that it changes the unified field of consciousness, the morphogenic field. So we're responding really to the unified field of consciousness and energy, but we're shifting the auric field, the morphogenic fields. So as that starts happening, there are going to be these major quantum leaps. Okay, we're going to get, people didn't want to wait. Okay. Sorry, gang, but this isn't just a call-in show. Anyway, if you want to call back in, 347-539-5122. Sue is saying building supplies in the tornado, breaking down the foundations and rebuilding. Yeah, up-leveling in relationships too, yes. Job, well, because part of it's all about relationships, because it's how we relate with ourselves and others. It's the whole relational principle, because that's what this earth plane is all about. You see, in other dimensions, and some that I remember from, and some being from, and some that I've experienced, we are collective. So there is no relating. We're all one. Even if you have one voice, like let's say Ashtar Command, you have one voice coming through, or when I'm channeling the spiritual hierarchy or the oversouls, it's their group energies that are with me all the time. Even though it comes through my voice, it's a group. Or when I'm channeling in my classes or workshops, or when I'm channeling on my YouTube channel, it might be coming through me, but I'm getting the information, the data, the insights from hundreds to thousands and thousands of people, plus the oversouls, right? I'm getting the data. I'm just like a satellite system. I'm picking up the signals from other people, what you're putting out into the universe. See, that's what people are going to start realizing, and not only realizing, but understanding and utilizing and then generating, making stronger, reinforcing. is that we individually are these satellites creating these collective signals through our individual beaming. And that's not only creating our experiences, but this world's experience. That's how it happens. It's like a mirroring. That's why they call this the mirror effect on the earth. So when you are all one, there doesn't need to be any reflection. Said metaphysically, from the one comes the many, and out of the many is the one. So this earth plane, we play this out, these other dimensions, and planetary existences within the solar system. But the difference is in other planetary experiences, even though we've separated out, or there'll be an individual being or person from another planet, even there is still much more interconnectedness consciously through the subtle energy that isn't lost. How it gets lost here, on the earth plane. It's almost like the game to be lost and then found. Like you descend into matter, and now we're in the ascension part. We're ascending up through matter. Let's see. Someone that's so rigid, yeah. Your energetic body is so lazy it wants to cocoon. Well, right now to assimilate, I did that yesterday. I had a lot planned and I took some time off, and then did these Alexander techniques for just some deeper opening of the physical body and healing. Right now, for many people, this energy is very cocoony, wanting to sleep a lot or meditate a lot or lay around or just kind of walk or hike and just be really kind of gentle. There's a lot of people that are very tired or exhausted. I would say you have to do what you have to do in your life, but follow that as much as possible because, see, we're learning to it's Uranus energy. I love it because this is how I think, and this is, how I able to channel. This is how I process information. So we're going to be learning to be less linear, less sequential. We're learning to trust our higher self, that even when we're sleeping, the plan is happening. You know what I mean? We're still doing something. So we're going to learn I can set things up, follow through, and now I can cocoon or take a nap or lay in a hammock, and it's still getting done. See, because the formulaic ego was really socialized and schooled into believing you had to make things happen. It became overly left brain focused, overly masculinized, overly focused on that separating out or having to do it all on your own or make things happen through labor. So now we're moving more into having things through the mentalism, through visualizing, through envisioning, telepathically, and also energetically, to aligning with the frequency of where we're going, finding the flow, the momentum, and trusting and following through. So we're not going to be so scared of dips, but I get it, because we've all been trained like this. When something dips in our life, whether it's people, relationships, money, or we're seeing now with scarcity, people are start hoarding. We're never going to have it again. It was like COVID, with the toilet paper and other things. It came back. So any dips we have, any shortages, it's going to come back, and ultimately in a way that is very similar or better. And that, metaphysically, is also a training ground, a testing to see attachment. I mean, it's Scorpio. The South Node is in Scorpio, and Taurus is has its likes and preferences, and can be both of those, Taurus and Scorpio fixed. They can be very attached. We get attached. So we're kind of being trained to release and go, okay, I really like this, or this is how I wanted it to happen, or this is the time frame, or this is the thing that I always buy. This is the brand. It's the best that I found for years. I've been using it for years. Okay, let me just let go. Let me just try this new one because it's not there. So everything we go through on a personality level of the ego, of the human part of us, has a higher intention coming from cosmic will, divine will, coming from source. It has an up-leveled expression and experience and meaning. So everything we go through, there is a reason. And a lot of times we look back in our life and we go, oh, that makes sense why that happened. Or I used to have A, B, and C, but now I don't care. It's fine. If they have it, they have it. If we don't, we don't. So we're really going to be tested in this way. And the testing, to look at it, those of you that are in tarot, is the temperance card. The testing is an alchemical process of purification, unification, and within the unification process is a rebalancing of our very own inner psyche and the energies of that, the cosmic energies, the worldly energies. The tempting or temperance is to clear out what is unpure. In other words, it's not in enough integrity into our soul design, our soul matrix and soul signature frequency, which means our vibrational frequency. So there could be letting go of certain food or situations or ways of relating or routines or whatever it is. That starts the tempering process, so that when that's tempered enough, it allows a higher vibrational, so that we can have a higher vibrational experience and expression of ourselves. So in essence, it's bringing the lower and the higher together, the inner and the outer. It's this, amalgamation, is this blending and melding to bring, like as Sue said, building something. So it's to build a better us, in a way, and surface a life experience. It's to build or rebuild, or certain places maybe you've really built up and done a lot. There may be just certain areas that need to be shored up, or some fine-tuning or polishing here or there. Just small little tweaking, you're going to see adjustments right now. So along with this very high vibrational energy, very inspired, a lot going on all at once. It's like you planted all these seeds and they're sprouting. There is going to be some refining and pruning. You may distance or just not have to put as much attention in something or some situation, as others. Oh, healer medium, you'll get the energy back. You will. Where's Uranus in my chart? Sue, what house? 8th house. My moon. It's right on my moon. On my Moony. And squaring my Mercury, and let's see what else. Something else opposing my Jupiter. So I've been welcoming it. I've been planning for this already, even as the energy. I've been planning for this and kind of aligning with this energy. It can be jarring. It can be a lot of download, a lot of fast sites information coming through. Up and down with sleep. But it feels very... it definitely aligns you more to your mission. I could say that. Let's see. Lynn, what are you saying, Michelle? Where these planets are in our birth chart? What about it? Yeah, look and see, because Lynn, you weren't here before. Definitely those, and I'll get to you, caller. I see you. Private caller. If you guys have a question or comment, press 1 on the keypad. I think there is somebody that. Just really quick, Lynn. So, look in your chart, look back at 1999 to 2000, and then also 2007, those time frames. Then my suggestion is to look at what is Uranus aspecting in your chart right now. What sign, what house. Look at Uranus. Where's Uranus? What's it aspecting? Saturn, Pluto. Right now Mars is aspecting Uranus, so that's going to tell you a lot. And then Neptune. So you want to look at not only the signs that are being aspected, but the house. That's going to tell you the areas and focus to look at. And again, you don't have to be an astrologer or get into astrology. I just find it helpful because it's so simple right now and explanatory as to what's happening. It's a great lens to just get another layer of your individual personal changes and how this is so important. Not only good to look at our chart, but how does what you're going through being affected by the Mick energies, the cosmology, you know, the universal energies. Worldly too, worldly and universal energies, and how are you being affected and how are you affecting? Because that's the mirroring. What you do, what we all do, is going to start, it always has, but we're going to be much more potent creators, interferers, if you will, satellite, beamers, transponders, whatever you want to, transmitters, that we're going to be consciously, more people consciously transmitting at will and coming together to transmit the higher vibrational picture of what's going on. Yes, yes, indeedy. Oh, 12th house, a lot coming up with the past. It'd be good to work with subconscious, dream, clearing out a lot of the past. 9th house, and then transiting. Yours is in the 12th, but it's transiting in the 9th. So that's spirituality, higher values, beliefs, could be travel, overseas travel, movement, but it could be higher learning or wisdom teaching, getting into the higher principle, learning something new, getting into more the spiritual aspect of you, taking that broader view. It's ruled by 9th house, ruled by Jupiter, house of Sagittarius. So there is this freeing up, but you're learning a new belief system that's more expansive. All right, let's get to the first caller again. 347-539-5122. Press 1 on your keypad. Hello.
Hi, Michelle. You didn't say you're on the air. How are you?
Please, how am I doing? I'm doing great. I'm doing great. How are you, Queen? Good to hear from you.
I'm fabulous. I knew you knew it was me.
I could tell. When you first put the hand up, I'm like, oh, good, Queen's here.
Yes. I was doing things, and I said, well, the portal opened, so I might as well step on through and speak to you and ask a question. The astrology information, interesting. I'm going to come back and listen because, like I said, I was in and out. But I also have been taking a free 10-day class by someone named Deborah Silverman. You may know of her. And
she's been on the show.
She's an astrologer.
Yep, she's been on the podcast.
It's been interesting. So I'm in the energy of astrology, clearly.
Oh,
and
good.
I have that might trigger another question. Or I have a comment to see what you say about it more than a question. It's both.
Okay. Okay.
I am going to be performing before an audience in a different way because we're always performing every moment of our life. But I'm going to be on the stage to allow myself to be witnessed in a different way than I have in a long time. And I'm bringing
that's this energy. That's this energy. Yes.
I'm bringing with old gifts, new gifts, combinations of, and it was going to be in the woods. And when she first asked me to be a part of this, or when I agreed to be a part of it, however it came to be, I'm like in the woods and blah, blah, blah. And I love the woods because I live in the woods, but nonetheless, it turned out that it's not going to be in the woods. That's even better. I prefer that for performance, what I want to bring forward. So with that said, anything that you might want to say, other than what you've already said, that I might need to be aware of regarding
the performance that you're doing.
Yes.
Let's see. Okay, the only thing I hear is yes, you're on the right track, you're on the right path, and I'm literally seeing like a trail or a path. Now, the other thing I see around you is this amazing ancestral energy of like a choir, like music and singing, and it's like a group energy that you're coming in with. And it's interesting because I was talking about the one voice, that we seem separate, but we're really just separated out. So we're always connecting into all of us collectively, especially as we get to know each other more and we're talking and sharing things. We're clearly on this soul wave. So there is something that you're tapping into that's more of a collective energy or presence, which I feel is also going to get you a wider audience, if that makes sense.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And I will be chanting. I will be bringing in.
That's why. So there is singing. There is voicing. Okay. Yeah.
And I will be. I'm excited about it. I will be doing drama. I will be doing poetry. I will be doing.
That's it.
A lot of things as it's revealing itself to me. Now, as you may remember, I have been working on a trilogy for a while, and I'm still working on it. But I was also told to write the poetry, write the positive motivational words, whatever, and they have been flowing. It has been flowing. So with that said, in preparation for this experience, it opened me up like boom. And it is it's a family reunion of a temple. That I am the god of the temple. So
okay,
yeah,
that makes sense.
And what else?
Well, I would say, Queen, whatever for you and also for other people, whatever is actually shorter, whether it's blogs or posts or ebooks, shorter formatted creations and inspirations will be greatly appreciated by the oversouls in the spiritual hierarchy. Just putting stuff out there, not waiting to do the big magnum opus, the big, the big tome, the big, Encyclopedia Britannica. Whatever you're feeling inspired and motivated by. So just that you're doing it now is perfect, is great. Absolutely.
Yes, that's what I got. It would be an easier way for me to introduce myself to them with a smaller bite of the experience. Now, with that said, I would love to have it ready to be purchased in at least a downloadable form, and it's 2 weeks away. Any insight and guidance regarding that? I'm feeling a little nervous about that last step.
Well, you could put the book in a PDF form, or you could put it in a PDF form and have a link on your site where people can download it. Or if you don't have the time to do that, get people's email address and mail it to them, and then they can PayPal you or something, or Venmo or something, or whatever other, and then you could send it to them. But you're on the right track. See, I'm so glad that you're saying this, because first of all, you said, which is so in alignment with the higher vibrational outpicturing of this frequency and where the universe wants to go. As you said, it'll help me get to know people. You want to put it out there. So in a way, what we're doing in our life is it's our calling card, like, hey, our card that has our info vibrationally. So this will help you find the resonance, who and what is most resonating and of coherence for you. What is the right vibrational frequency that connects into the signature vibrational frequency of your soul. So that's perfect. And that you're just creating and having fun with it. So definitely keep us posted. I will want to know how things are going, and I know everyone else will also. All right, Queen.
I will keep you posted, and thank you so much for the blessings I received from you. Namaste, sister.
Oh, namaste. And hold on, we have our guest coming in a little bit, just waiting to see the number in the switchboard. Hi, you're on air.
Hi, Michelle. My name is Jessica. I'm calling from England.
Hey, Jessica. Ooh, hello, welcome from across the pond. I've lived there for a few years, so love it.
It's wonderful, yes. I was going to ask for all sorts of ego confirmations, but actually what I really want to do is say thank you. I realise that it is all about ego. I've got a big project on the go that's just unbelievable. I'm so passionate about it. I really, truly believe in it, and so therefore I shouldn't need any ego confirmations. So actually I'd just like to say thank you, because since, well, way before 2019, I've been listening to you, and you've really helped me every step of the way. I'm a changed person. This project is going to require me to be confident, put myself out there, which I'm steadily doing bit by bit. Because I believe in it, I have to put it out there. And you've helped me every step of the way. I really do appreciate it. I'm a changed person. Although I'm nervous now talking to you, I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to have to put myself out there. I'm going to have to be more confident. And bit by bit I am realizing how strong I can be, because it's my passion. And so
there's always, I remember I first started this program. It was on another network, and it was only half an hour, and I was like, what am I going to talk about? Then the guy brought me on board to do the podcast. But I just say that, so we're always going to have some nervousness about something or doubt, and I do believe we all need confirmation, I myself included, whether I ask a reader or online or a friend or tune into my guides or all of the above, usually all of the above. So yes, and your passion, your inspiration leads you to inspired action. So our passion and where the momentum is in a life-enhancing way, it's like we're to follow that wave. And right now, that is the energy. And actually, on an Earth level, galactic and Earth level, because the Earth is getting more and more electrical, and we are the counterbalancing part of the Earth, we are meant to be more magnetic now. A lot of information came out, I think even in the 90s about this with Greg Braden, but that 0 point. So the magnetic of receiving the inspiration, the impulse, and then responding, then acting. So I would say for you, Jessica, and other people that are listening are wondering, if you keep getting these messages, or do this, do that, or I got to do this, or I want to do this, or this seems fun, all you need is to open up and respond to that. You can even take a big breath in and feel your idea, feel what it is you're wanting to create or manifest or to open up more to or line to. And then you breathe out, say, I respond to it. I fully open to it.
I've actually each step of the way. Initially I was told, you could say, that I had everything I needed to manifest this concept. And I'm a nobody. I really am. I'm just a mum at home. And but I really believe that voice, because I had the passion. I understand the enormity of what I could create. But I needed that first step. So I said, okay, so what I need. And it was unbelievable. Each step, I thought, what I need now is this or that. And it just arrives. It's just there.
I
think at the moment, I'm hoping that what I'm putting out there will come back. I've had a lot of positive responses. I'm just nervous because it's quite confidential. I'm nervous about. I'm very excited about when I talk about it, but I have to send out emails with information, and I'm nervous that I'm giving out too much before I've actually got the product developed. So, but I'm holding the faith that it's meant to be.
So I would say with that is just have, before you do anything, just make a line, do some breath work, a little meditation, you can go to my website, soulplayground.life, and on the meditation mindfulness page, you can download for free. This 5-10 minute meditation, and then just respond and just trust. But everything that you're doing seems to be on track, is what I'm getting, and it's just the human part. We all are going to have.
Exactly.
Should I say this?
Exactly.
Should I do this? Doubts. I do. Even now, I just say sometimes, okay, Michelle, just put it out there. Or I have my assistant or somebody. I'm like, oh God, should I just put it out there? Who cares? Put it out there. Just do it. Just do it. And then I walk away and I do something else. I go for a walk. I go visit my chickens. I do something, because that's just the human part of us. Oh, Jessica,
I'm enjoying every step of the way. I really am. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But I love every moment and the learning that and the growth that I'm getting from each step. So I highly recommend it to other people.
It is happening. You're doing it. This is part of it.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for your beautiful, heartfelt appreciation too. Brought tears to my eyes. I really appreciate you, and I'm glad you're part of this community.
Thank you. You take care.
You too.
Bye.
All right, you guys. All right, so stay listening. I know we got a lot of international callers today that are calling in. Hang on. With the second half of the program, we've got our awakening guest that's coming on, Eden Sky, author and teacher. She's also the author of the Galactic calendar, so we're going to be talking about that and other things, and who knows what comes up. Let's just see what's going on. Hi, Eden.
Hi, Michelle. I'm so happy to speak with you today.
Oh, you as well. So, gosh, so much to cover. I love your website, 13moon, 13moon.com. So tell us a little bit about what you were doing before you were doing this, and how you got to doing this, how you transitioned into what you're doing now, or sometimes I like to say your first awakening, and then what was the unfolding to get where you are now?
Sure. I was actually 18 years old, and I was about to graduate high school. I was doing my high school completion through college. I was about to graduate, and I was looking around at the people around me and the options, and, people were becoming, dental hygienists or just all of these things that to me had, I just thought, no, that's not me. What in the world am I going to do with my life, with my energy? And I was just praying to the universe, give me something to care about, give me a sense of passion, and purpose. And so, honestly, it was very shortly after that. It was a very sincere prayer, and I believe that if any one of us really asked the universe that same type of prayer, for passion, for purpose, the universe wishes to deliver that to us, because the universe wants us to be activated and awakened with our unique purposes. In any case, so very shortly after that, through complete and total serendipity, I just happened to be at the right place at the right time at a Kinko's Copy Center, if anyone remembers Kinko's from 27 years ago. And
I remember Kinko's. I actually researched how they came into being. I'm such a journalist. Yeah. Lovely Kinko's.
So I was standing there, and next thing I know, my friend is picking up, some copies, and there's this piece of paper, and it has all of these colors and symbols, and just these like colors and symbols, just this piece of paper. And as I was looking at it, I just felt every cell in my being just responding and sort of exploding with like just intrigue. And I said to him, "What is this?" And he said, "I have no idea. It's some calendar we're supposed to follow. Do you want a copy?" And I said, "Yes." So I was 18 years old. So now I had a copy of this strange sort of cryptic, map. It looked like, and along with that, there was an article that went along with the calendar from Jose Arguelles, and it was called "Change from Mechanical Time into Natural Time." So I read this article, and it just changed my life. I resonated so completely with this message, and I thought, this is it. And I became so passionate about learning this new galactic calendar system and understanding what Jose was really teaching the world, that I just dedicated myself to it. And I have been continuing to share this calendar system and his teachings for the past 27 years.
Wow. And now you actually studied a bit with him as well, right?
Yes. Honestly, he became like family to me. We're very close. Yeah. So he passed away in 2011, but it's just a complete honor to continue to promote his teachings. My real love is to share the absolute fundamental basics of his message, because I'm really interested in helping people understand just the very basics. In other words, in this moment, especially people that are conscious and on the awakening path, many people, are aware of all the important holistic, areas to find, new paradigm ways, whether it's, the foods we eat, working with healing our inner child and trauma, the kind of vibrations and media that we expose ourselves to. People are becoming very conscious of all of these areas, which are very, very important. However, one of the most important, central, most overlooked aspects, actually, of our global culture and our human society is our relationship to time. And that's why I'm so passionate about sharing his teachings, because most people don't think about time and calendars, and we sort of just go along with the old program that, everybody around us uses, because we don't even really know that it's old. It's just kind of like is what it is.
Yeah. It's funny, I touched upon that at the top of the podcast at the beginning. So I'd like to get your take on that, since our idea of time, and even if we look at it astrologically with the Uranus influence becoming more predominant, it's moving into timing. And the Saturn would be time, Chronos, father time, Kairos would be timing, synchronistic timing, and or by events, which is more synchronistic. So maybe you can dive into that a little bit more, if you don't mind, about this whole idea of time and timing, and then the basis of the calendar and how people can align to that and how it can be helpful. I know that's a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm just like,
I know you
can do it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love to speak about these things, because, like I said, most people just don't even think about it, So basically,
and it defines it, right? It's really important, right, to reframe time, because
absolutely,
it can do a number on you. Yeah.
Well, it's fundamental, because the way we relate to time directly affects our minds, and directly affects, therefore, our lives. And so basically, our lives are, if we understand that the time of our life is our creative experience as a human being, we sort of reclaim our time. And we understand that we actually live in natural time. The earth has rhythms, the universe has rhythms, we ourselves are nature. We have natural rhythms. However, our modern global culture has fallen under a spell of what Jose Arguelles called a spell of artificial time, a spell of cosmic amnesia. And what this is this has left humanity trapped in a sense of only three-dimensional time, and a sense that time is only linear. And what this does is it like blocks, it's like a ceiling that blocks us from the higher dimensional experience of time and the higher dimensional experience of who we actually are. So the third dimensional time, chronological time as duration, is only one aspect of time. Meanwhile, the higher dimension of time is what he calls the synchronic order of time, is what you were speaking about, of synchronicity. Mm-hmm. And what's really beautiful is that, even if you boil it down in a really simple sense, what he speaks about is that this artificial timing frequency is, the motto of it is time is money, and it's upheld and perpetuated through the 12-month calendar, that tells us today is, August 10th, I believe, and then the 60-minute clock, and those together create what he calls the 1260 artificial timing frequency. And these are not connected to nature. They actually desynchronize us with nature. Yeah. And meanwhile, the point of this galactic calendar system is to open us up to the higher dimension of time, which is called the 1320 timing frequency. And that's based on the sacred mathematics that unify the microcosm and the macrocosm. They're found in our body, they're found in the rhythms of the earth, they're found in the rhythms of the universe. And the cool thing is it's super simple, it's super easy, it's super fun. And the motto of this timing frequency, instead of time is money, it's time is art.
Nice. Something I want to touch upon or go into a little bit more is this idea, because I've been getting the messages from my guides about this 13 spheres.
Yeah.
We've been kind of condensed. What does that mean, opening, when we're getting past this linear time only on the 3D, which is boxing us in? What are the ramifications of that in metaphysical? Because the other clearly is a control mechanism, right?
Exactly.
It skews our perception.
Exactly.
So where do you see where we're going with this, and understanding the 13 levels, 13 dimensions, the 13 main chakras? I mean, that number is so sacred, and yet from us is distilled.
Yes, exactly. It's actually the one of the most important foundations of shifting out of linear artificial time, which keeps us trapped in separation and scarcity. We're always running out of time. We're always late. We're overwhelmed, and there's just a sense of meaninglessness. If you look at your 12-month calendar, it's just a bunch of, empty boxes, and there's 28, 29, 30, 31 days, just total randomness. There's no sense of sacred meaning for the day. There's no sense of higher purpose. There's certainly no, spiritual inspiration. If I say today is Wednesday, August 10th, nobody realizes that August is named after Augustus Caesar. What is this calendar system? And it's literally encoded not only as a control mechanism, but laden with unspeakable historical atrocities. And so, again, it's about shifting into a new paradigm relationship to time that empowers us, that gives us a feeling of interconnectedness and understanding of every moment of our life being in this amazing synchronic pattern that we can look at and see, and we can remember the magical beings that we are, and we can remember the magical opportunities of every day. But what I want to touch upon very quickly is about the power of 13. So as you mentioned, 13 is typipally associated as either unlucky or taboo or perhaps evil. And the truth of the matter is, to the ancient Maya, they revered the power of 13. They understood it as the power of 13. They called it the power of the highest heavens. And 13 also, as many of the listeners I'm sure know, 13 represents the power of the divine feminine, the power of the moon, the power of the spiral, literally. So in this calendar system, one of the most important things about it is about reclaiming the power of 13. Literally, we have 13-day cycle, and we also have a 13-month cycle. And so literally, we just started the Galactic New Year 2 weeks ago. In this alternative calendar system, we do not follow the January through December. We do not follow the Monday through Friday. We have much more than that. So in this calendar system, the year is understood literally as a 13-month spiral journey around the sun. And then we also have 13-day cycles. And literally, when I was 18 years old, all that I knew, I only knew this one tiny little cycle of this system, which was the 13-day cycle. And there was just one code word for each day, and you just repeated them every 13 days, and it changed my life. And that's why I've dedicated myself to this for 27 years, and I have as much passion, if not more, as I did when I was 18.
Wow. Yeah, that kept from, I'm not big even on birthday or certain commemorative things because I realize how it locks you in. There's such a group consciousness of now you're this age and you have to do this and you have to do that. And years ago, even some of my family does this. I said, look, let's try this. Let's just see where we're at and what we resonate with, even on holidays. Let's not do this. We have to, all the time, because it really does. Long-term doing this really does block out higher frequency, not only energy, but information and insights. It's just because you're in this loop. You're in this matrix, not the real matrix.
Exactly.
So what can people gain? Okay, but how would they integrate? Like, you have this galactic calendar, which is amazing. Because what my understanding, too, of the galactic calendar is you can tune in and see, like your tagline, make every day magical. You can kind of tune in or align to see certain things that you would maybe want to do, or certain rhythm.
Yeah.
So
is that true? It's actually really easy, super simple, and super fun. So the deal is that and this is, speaking from my experience, and I really believe in this, and I'm very sincere, is that once we raise our frequency out of this mechanical time that really just, as a 6-year-old girl, I was talking to her about it. She said, "Oh, the clock just wants to turn us into a machine." And it's like, well, actually, yes. Yeah. So as we raise our frequency, and we live in such an artificial time too, everyone addicted to screens and everything coming at us. So more than ever, we need to raise our frequency back into natural galactic synchronic time. And first of all, it's just an opportunity to remember who we truly are. Okay, it's actually just an activation of a remembrance. And so actually, once we start, it's very simple. We raise our frequency into 1320 time, and that's a matter of literally just, for example, looking at the symbols. Every day has a symbol. Every day has a color. And you can literally just look at it. You can maybe even just get activated by the symbol, and then you can read in the back of our calendar, and you can pick. There's 3 code words. You can just choose one of them if you want. You can make it absolutely easy. For example, in addition to today, today is called Wednesday, August 10th by the global secular calendar world of commerce, and that's fine. Our calendar system. You have the standard calendar in it. You have the 12-month calendar reference point. So this isn't about that we have to not be aware of the 12-month calendar and not be aware of the clock. That's not what this is about. Or. Yeah. Right. This is about understanding, okay, on the 12-month Gregorian calendar, today's Wednesday, August 12th. Okay. And, on the clock, it is whatever it is, 1:15 or whatever. But the understanding is that that's not time. That's a 12-month calendar. That's a clock. Okay, we can use them as we need to live our lives. However, what we're doing is we are expanding the context of our lives into this fourth dimensional, higher, raising our frequency into the 1320 time by also saying, oh, and guess what else? Today on the galactic calendar is called Yellow Rhythmic Seed. What does that mean? What does yellow rhythmic seed mean? And even if you don't look in the back for the code words, you can just try that on. Oh, it's yellow rhythmic seed. How does that make me feel? You can look at tomorrow and go, wow, tomorrow is called red resonant serpent. How does that make me feel? And so every day literally has one of these 260 galactic frequencies. And the beautiful thing is these frequencies, that this calendar is mapping to us every day. You just take one at a time, and you just sort of invite it into your life in whatever, maybe you want to wear the color of the day, you want to contemplate one of these words, and you just kind of try it on. You're just basically opening up and infusing your consciousness with it. And before you know, you will, at least I certainly have, and I get testimonials from people all around the world, you start to open up to this incredible realm of creativity, magic, synchronicity, telepathy, and we feel also we get to feel a much deeper sovereign connection to our experience of natural time. And the thing is that this I really mean, and I hope listeners hear what I'm about to say, is that so I live in synchronic natural galactic time, and that actually supports every linear thing I need to do, every linear responsibility. I am, if you ask friends, I am one of the most grounded, reliable, punctual people when I need to be. If someone wants me to use the clock, great. Okay, I will show up when you ask me to be there. However, if I have an opportunity to not need to use the clock, sure. But you know what I'm saying? It's not about just like abandoning and being, oh, hey, whatever, man. It's like it actually, the opening to our higher dimensional capacities supports us third dimensionally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think it's also, it's funny because I teach a lot of this, so we're just doing a little bit different languaging, but I feel like this, like your tool with the calendar, this is opening us up to this part of us to live more from this place. And I agree with you. It doesn't mean you don't know something's at 3 or something's at 4 and you're there, but you're not stuck in that frame of reference. You realize, I love it, you realize that's a calendar, that's a arbitrary, which people, the calendar is arbitrary. It's arbitrary. The calendar we use is arbitrary. Yes. But we have an arbitrary time, just like we have arbitrary money. You could have coconuts. 10 coconuts get you, such a back massage. I don't know. So I love what you're saying, because I feel if people start opening up to this, because I find living this way, I actually get more quote unquote done. Yeah. Without, and you kind of understand that the space, which is what time is supposed to be, that the like you said, duration. It's it's the space that consciousness takes in, right, and some kind of unfolding. Yes. Through actually, we start to experience, our spiral self. And talk about that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Talk about absolutely. That. And I want to also invite listeners, on a really fun way to even just check this out. If listeners go to our website, 13moon.com, 13moon.com, there's a button right at the top that says Birth Date Decoder, and just put your birth date in, and it takes just a couple seconds. And that will decode your birth date into this galactic calendar system. And you can immediately find out which one of these 260 galactic frequencies that you embody based on your birth. And if you do that, just by looking at the symbol, you'll see you have a symbol, and then you'll have a galactic affirmation. And you may not understand, the words with your rational mind, but just open to the energy. And then if you want, there's some buttons you can click on to learn more about your energy. By doing that, just by decoding your birthday or your friends and families, it actually literally immediately introduces you and enters you into the possibility of interacting with fourth dimensional time, with your fourth dimensional self. And as we know, the fourth dimension is just the gateway to the higher dimensions. So that's something everyone can do. It just takes a second. It's totally free. And it invites us to understand, and it shows you what the system is about, because the point is that we need to understand ourselves and our daily life from a much higher, expanded perspective and context of what's really going on here. What's really going on here is we are terrestrial and celestial beings. Yeah. We live in a spiral galaxy.
you know, and the Earth is galactic. We are galactic. We live in a spiral galaxy, and a lot of humanity has completely forgotten this and has been obscured, and we're trapped in this, you know, sense of I'm a person and I have to survive, and you know, I'm struggling with some terrorite, and there's all this horrible old programming going on trying to just terrorize people and feel so disempowered and so lost. And meanwhile, you know, we need to support each other to really claim our direct sovereign connection to the living earth, to the living universe, to our own hearts. And when we do that, we have access to so much spiritual support and guidance to help ourselves and help each other, you know, arise up and meet the challenges of these times, which are immense because we're in a time of such immense awakening.
Yeah, yeah. And I find this is a really important part, and again, it even is reflected in the astrology, the Uranian energy of the awakening is the material plane, is the earth, is through the body and through our perceptions through the body. And of course, a big part of this earth reality is time. We have to hack that. We have to create a shift in regards to what we perceive as time, and start integrating the timing, the synchronistic. Because that's how things get done anyway. I mean, really.
Yeah, when we align our daily lives in sync with the timing frequency that the Earth and the universe, you know, resonates at, it changes everything. And also, what I love about this calendar system, and the reason, you know, the only reason I've dedicated my life to this is because I believe in it. It is just, you know, and like I said, I get testimonies. You know, this system is followed by people in more than 90 countries around the world. So there's also this amazing telepathic field of people all around the world that also are resonating that today is yellow rhythmic seed, beyond just Wednesday. Okay. And so it's giving our daily life this higher meaning. And so each one of these galactic frequencies is literally inviting us to activate different virtues or qualities. And so they're very simple. That's the beautiful thing. There's a 13-day cycle. We go through the spiral of the 13 tones of creation. And then there's this 20-day cycle. We go through these 20 qualities. You know, today is the seed. And it's reminding us simply universal teachings, universal virtues, instead of just saying, oh, today's Wednesday, which gives us no inspiration. Say, oh, today is rhythmic seed. It's a reminder that with every thought and every word and every intention and every action, I am seeding the garden of my life. What do I want to weed? Mm-hmm. What do I want to seed? What do I really want to grow in the garden of my life? So this day, that is a day that people in 90 countries around the world are energizing that awareness. And you'd be amazed how, you know, it's so easy and joyful, and it gives us so much. And then 20 days later, it'll be seed day again. But we look at it again, and, you know, after 27 years, I get something new still when I go, oh, yeah, it's seed day. I'm able to feel it in a new way.
Yeah, love that. And that's where many of us, we are seeding here. You know, I'm just hearing from you also, there's just a lot about bringing this into conscious awareness. I'm going to put the call out. If anybody has any questions for Eden Sky in regards to the galactic calendar, you can call in 347-539-5122 or type it in the text. I'm not going to be doing readings. I'll be here next week if you want a reading. But if you have any questions that apply to this, or you want to just say hi, 347-539-5122 is the number, and press 1 on your keypad. And
and, you know, if I could say something else that's really important is, you know, this, 13-month, 28-day calendar, this 13-day cycle, this is about, you know, reclaiming the feminine, the spiral, you know, which is about expanding beyond linearity. You know, linearity has a place, but we have forgotten the spiral. So this feminine energy, you know, everyone knows that we're, you know, gravely out of balance inside ourselves and in the world around us. And so the beautiful thing is this calendar literally is focused on rebalancing, bringing this feminine energy to rebalance so we can be in harmony, the feminine and the masculine. So we just had the Galactic New Year like I was saying, on July 26th. And so each year we have a totally different galactic frequency of the year. So this year also is really focused on the divine feminine energy. It literally, this whole year that we just started, that we're only 2 weeks into, embodies the power of the universal waters, the power of purification, the power of flow, the power of self-remembrance. And it's also calling us to pay really to, this energy of this year is really interesting because it's asking us to really flow, to really surf the waves of life as they're unfolding, accept things as they are, allow the purification. We're in a time of immense purification, and be really courageous and purifying internally and externally. But the energy of this year is also asking us to pay really close, to be very deliberate and discerning in our actions and our intentions to create a new foundation, to allow a new coherent foundation to form in our lives that then we can flow at a higher level on top of that and through that.
Yeah. I love it. The guides always, there's alignment. We were just talking about this. The flow and the magnetic and the feminine principle and response. You know, there's this wave. There's this amazing wave right now that people can ride.
Yes.
Let's see if we have a question here. A couple people have been waiting. Let's see if they. Hi, you're on air.
Hi, Michelle. How are you?
Doing great. Who's this?
This is Jackie. You know what I just heard? And I have a question about the calendar. I just heard that the Earth has been speeding up real fast and that the axis, I guess, changed and time was shifted by like 1 second. Does that make a big difference with this calendar?
No, not at all, because this calendar is phased with the higher dimensional timing, that coordinates all of this physical acceleration, So we are absolutely in a time of physical acceleration, no question. We're in a time where so much is changing on the physical realm, for our Earth, for our own bodies, So when we align with the natural timing frequency, it actually just supports us. It just helps us be in phase.
Yeah, and actually that shift happened in the 90s, that the Earth becoming, in fact, there was a lot of, articles, blog posts that came out of even scientific peer-reviewed of concern that the Earth's axis was shifting. The Earth's axis was shifting. But the truth is it's shifting so that it's a time for us to be more magnetic, talking about being the feminine principle. That shift has happened already. But I feel like what you're talking about right now, I feel like a lot of people are get universally blocked because they're too much in the masculine. They're too much in the left side of the brain, right? And so we're not going to be able to get things by pushing, that's going to happen less and less and less. And I think you mentioned, Eden, about just this responding, this whole idea of responding.
Yeah, the timing, the frequency is so overwhelming. And I mean, like, I keep finding myself in a situation where, like, I'm around people that are so antagonistic. And like they don't stop, and I don't know what's motivating them to be that way. Is it frustration? I mean, we're all frustrated because of things that's happening.
They're feeling the same energy. A lot of them don't have the context, but I would say ride the wave, your own personal wave. See where the momentum is leading you. Jackie, I'm going to click off now because we're winding down the show. But thanks for calling in. Really, really, really great question. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That was great. Ooh, that was a good one. That was good.
Yeah.
Eden, right? What else? Yeah, right. Wouldn't you say other people are feeling this? They just don't have. A lot of people don't have the context. It definitely brings stuff up. I mean, the mothering principle can be collie. It can be the volcanoes too.
In this time of incredible purification and awakening, it is. This awakening is coming to us in the form of both immense challenge that is shaking everything we thought we knew, we thought was real. Everything is being challenged and catalyzed to grow. And the thing is that what I see is there's sort of these two realities going on. There's a one reality where, people are just feeling terrified, vulnerable, lost, separate, and therefore powerless, and yes, therefore perhaps very angry or frustrated or just scared and trying to, survive. And then there's this other reality where people are going, taking these same energies and going, wait a minute. I'm gonna surrender into this. I'm gonna give myself space to drop in literally to the earth, drop in literally to my heart, drop in literally to my breath, drop in literally to my experience in my human body as an antenna of nature. And then, and I'm going to go. And then when we do that and we open up on the really subtle realm, we can actually feel these frequencies from the earth, these new frequencies from the universe that are really inviting us to let go of so much old identity, so much old thoughts, old fears, all this old identity. And that's right there available to us. But if we're stuck in fear and resistance and trying to cling and we feel separate and we're not doing that inner work of like dropping in and aligning, then we're going to experience a lot of chaos and suffering. But the opportunity is there to really go, wait a minute, and really open up and just be willing to let go of so much old energy, because there's so much benevolent energy flowing through right now, but we have to learn how to open up to it.
Yeah. Challenge and ease. And I think what you say is so true and important, is that you got to just go into it. I mean, it's like waiting in line for a concert. You got to go. You can get out of line and get back in line. It doesn't matter. This process is happening no matter what, and it just it gets decoded when it gets right. If it's decoded within you, the encoding is popping off. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you. You got to go with it. It's like birth. You can't go back up the canal, the birth canal. You just
the only way out is through. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, Eden, this has been great. Let us say where people can get this Galactic calendar, great tool that they can connect in with.
Please. So please go to my website, 13moon.com, 13moon.com, and like I said, you can click on Birth Date Decoder for free. There's also some awesome, interviews and online magazines to check out that are right there. And then if any listener is inspired to order that you heard about on the podcast, do so. Include a note in your order that you heard about on this Awaken podcast, and I will free holographic Galactivation sticker that we sell on our site for $4, and I'll include that to thank you for listening. And just to say, the calendar it offers a complete guidebook, making it super easy, and it features full color visionary art from around the world. And the new year just started on July 26th, and if anybody has any questions, you can email me through the website as well, 13moon.com.
Perfect. All right, Eden, don't be a stranger. Come back whenever you want, and thanks for coming on and sharing.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Thank you for what you're doing and for everyone who is doing, their purpose and passion to support this collective human awakening. We're doing it. We're shining.
We're doing it. I know, right? Woo, we're doing it. All right. You take good care. Bye.
You take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That's so true. Thank everyone. All right, everyone. Thanks for being here. I'll be here next week. Will you? Have a beautiful rest of your day and week. And remember, ride the flow. Find the momentum. Align to the momentum. And always continue to shine your light, share your insights, and, of course, keep awake.
I'm getting woke and staying woke. Awakenings broadcast every Wednesday, 12 p.m. Pacific Time. Archive shows available on iTunes. For continued awakened conversations and insights, join the Awakenings group on Facebook.
And check out Michelle's blog at soulplayground.com and keep awake.